For people who are on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids, I want to know, stitch this or comment down below. Do you feel happier and more fulfilled? Do you feel different in a good way now that you have kids? Or like what is the feeling? Like, do you regret it? Are you glad that you had them?
Yes, some people have doubts when it comes to having children. Some people are like, should I say child free or should I have a child? Should I have a child or should I have two? Should I have two or should I have three? Should I have three or should I have five? People are confused, and sometimes some people even come to the internet to ask questions and be like, if you know that you're child free by choice, why are you child free by choice? Or mothers, is there any regret? Let me know so that I can prepare myself. Some people even ask that, oh, I finally found the right person. I do not know if I can have my child with this person. A lot of confusion when it comes to having children, which is fine. These are the questions you need to ask yourself before having any child. So this woman asks that, do you have any regrets for somebody that was contemplating, should I have a child or should I not? Then you decided to like, okay, F it, let me just have this child. Do you have any regrets after you've had a child? Let me read the clip for you all to watch and I'll be back.
For people who are on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids, I want to know, stitch this or comment down below. Do you feel happier and more fulfilled? Do you feel different in a good way now that you have kids? Or like what is the feeling? Like, do you regret it? Are you glad that you had them? I know that people say whenever they do have kids, even if they were on the fence, that like you love your kids no matter what, obviously. But I do know that some people do have regret, and it's a really hard thing to talk about. Like, obviously you love your kids and you're going to do everything you possibly can for them, but like I just have never been the person that's like, oh my God, I can't wait to have a family, and I'm so on the fence about it. And there's some days where I could see myself having kids, and then there's other days where I absolutely cannot. And I hear all the time people who don't have kids, how happy they are that they didn't have kids. But then, like, it's just such a big decision, and I don't know. I feel like my identity is a huge thing. Like, having my identity change from just being me, an individual person, and then all of a sudden being the caretaker and the mother of somebody is like a huge, I just feel like that mindset shift would be crazy for me and would honestly kind of screw me up a little bit. And just the responsibility and the energy and the time and the money and everything that goes into having kids, it's just so much. And it's such a big decision, and I just want to know. I want to know, how do you feel now that you have them? Would you do anything differently?
Few people actually stitched the video. Let me roll the stitches for you all to watch to the end. And I'll share my own thoughts at the end of the video. But then if you fall in any of this category, kindly share your own experience in the comment section. Respectfully, as always.
You're on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids. I want to know, stitch this.
Here's the quick backstory. I wanted kids. My wife did not. Before we got married, we had a conversation. I basically said, I could be happy not having kids with you. And she said the reverse. If she was ever going to have kids, it would be with me. Great. We get married, 5 years go by. She's almost 40, which was the cutoff date that we decided. So we say, fuck it, let's try. And now here we are. We have an 18-month-old, and this is where we're at. All joy and no fun. It's the title of a book and a saying or whatever, and it very much encompasses the experience that we've had. We had a really rough first year, early pregnancy, complications, NICU, small baby, feeding problems. It was very stressful up until 13 or 14 months. And at this point, the difficulty of parenting shifted from the actual baby and keeping them alive, which we could do, to ourselves and us as a couple. And that has been so much more difficult than actually like parenting itself. The good news is it has gotten easier on all fronts every day, even just a little bit. And I can see a future in the next year or so in which fun comes back into our relationship and to our lives. And that's a hard selling point to tell someone, to tell you that you may not have very much fun for 3, maybe 4 years. And I know there are plenty of people that have kids and they love it and they would tell you the exact opposite, but that just hasn't been our experience. So Would I do it again with the knowledge that I currently have? Yes and no. Here's the no. I still maintain that my wife and I could have a very fulfilling and full life without children, except you would need to completely erase all of the knowledge and the existence of this tiny human from my brain. If that could be done, then yes, I could do a child-free life. And the reason the no is obviously because we love this child, but also this experience has been way more impactful and different than anything else in my life. I can't even compare it. I had cancer when I was 19, and I had like a 50% chance of living, and that doesn't even come close to comparing how world-altering this experience has been. And now that I know, I don't want to unknow. I will say, we've asked this question of some of our friends who we feel like had similar outlooks about children, and pretty consistently, they have said something along the lines of, I started to love being a parent, and I started to have a lot of fun at around the age 3 or 4. Again, I know, that's kind of a hard selling point. What I'm about to say is not helpful, but it sounds like you could have kids, and the beginning part might be really hard, and you would feel like you've lost a lot of yourself, but you'd get it back, and ultimately, you wouldn't regret your decision. And also, you could not have kids, and you would have a great life, and you wouldn't have any regrets. And I think both decisions are valid. There is a tiny, small, little silver lining to being on the fence if you decide to try and have kids, and that is that you are okay if it doesn't work out. And so the act of conceiving a child becomes so much less stressful. We have so many friends that desperately wanted kids or are trying to have kids, and they are struggling, and it is not a fun experience, and it's just stressful, and that sounds awful. So I guess there's that. I don't know. Good luck. You'll be okay either way.
For people who are on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids, I want to know, stitch this.
I don't know if happier is the term I would use, but more fulfilled for sure. I wasn't going to have kids until life happened, and now I have a 5.5-year-old who's pretty fucking great. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are some families and some kids and some parents who were dealt an unfair hand at life, and it's more complicated and difficult than you could imagine. So if you're not fully prepared for the unexpected, I would say that you take your time. But I'll also tell you, despite all of the things that have been difficult to go through and negative in our lives, are far outweighed by the positives and the cool fucking experiences to see that you're able to raise a human who's smart and funny and lively and determined. And that's pretty great in my opinion.
Do you feel happier and more fulfilled?
So I have a unique perspective with my child not having been planned. I was actually talking to my husband about this today. He was just saying he could never imagine the amount of joy that this child has brought our lives. Like, he can't even fathom it. The day-to-day of our lives is so happy and so joyful, and we feel so fulfilled. And I feel like before that was simply not the case for me personally. I was always waiting for the weekend, waiting for the next trip, waiting for something. Rarely was I enjoying the day-to-day, and that has changed 1000%. Above all else, above the joy, above the fulfillment, I feel like this child has pushed me in ways that have just made me better. I have reached financial goals, professional goals with him as the motivator, things I wouldn't have taken chances on myself prior with professionally. And then, I bought a house at 23. I only wanted to do this for him. And now to say that I've achieved that, I owe it all to him. My husband has gone back to school full time to become a computer engineer. We are leveling up, all thanks to him. And it's beautiful and it's amazing because we weren't sure if we wanted children, and the decision was made for us. I think any parent can say, I can't imagine my life without my child, but I don't know who we would be without him, and it wouldn't be as good of a version of who we are.
For people who are on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids, I want to know, stitch this.
Yes, yes, and no. I found out I was having a baby 3-4 months before I got married, and a month before I went on my hen do. I'm not a massive baby person. I'm a bit more of a baby person now, but before, if there was an option to play with a dog or a baby, I would always choose the dog. I just didn't really get them. So when I had a baby and I had to care for it and like change its nappy, put clothes on them, and just do everything that's involved with a baby, I had never done anything like that before. And you know what? It's fine. It's great. It's amazing. We accidentally made a full human being. Like, that is absolutely amazing. And I am so grateful of the journey we've had, because touch wood, like, she's really healthy. Like, I got pregnant without really realising. I had a good pregnancy. I had a good labour. She breastfeeds. Like, it's amazing. She's amazing, and I don't want to look like I'm slagging her off. But equally, I'm not one of them people that's like, it's the best thing in the whole entire world. Like, it's not. It's not the best thing in the whole entire world, but the fulfillment, I think, makes it the best thing in the entire world. So before I had a baby, like, I was like, gym, like, exercise, like, hair, nails, lashes, all that shit, like, tan. Like, I wash my face and clean my teeth and maybe put a little bit of bronzer on a morning at like 6 o'clock, and then that's it. I don't look in the mirror all day, and I don't care. Like, I don't care how I look. Like, I want to look presentable and I like to look nice, but I would just much rather just not do that. And that's just me, like, personally. Like, good on you if you do whatever suits you. This is me, not you. This is me. Hormones. So people will say, can't be that bad because you have more than one. Labour can't be that bad because people have more than one. No. Hormones make you do that. And without those hormones, we wouldn't be here. Like, at like 3 months, like when she was 3 months old, like, I would have had another one then and there. Like, I would probably still have another one now. And mine doesn't sleep. I think you're fine if you get one that sleeps, because you're doing something you've never ever done before. Like, you might have cared for babies before, looked after them, you might be a nanny, all that shit, but it is a completely different thing when you've got them 24/7. You can't edit on a Stitch video, not that I can work out, so I'm sorry if I'm rambling, which I am. So yeah, your hormones will get you through. Your hormones will do it, and you'll be fine. Once you're on the roller coaster, you can't get off the roller coaster, and you just have to keep going. But I would always say, you do you before you have a baby. Like, I'm so glad we all went travelling before we, like, had a baby. We're travelling. We used to go on holiday a lot. We used to do stuff with our lives, and I'm so glad we did. Like, if you want to wait, you want to wait. But I personally, I'm so glad. I've done it at 27. I'm hopefully going to have another one before I'm 30. And then, like, we're relatively young and fun, and we've got the energy for it. But I think I probably would have waited a bit longer and, like, just live my life as much as I want. Well, that would be my advice. Live your life and then have one. People say, like, your life doesn't start when you have a baby. Like, they're probably not going to be talking about this on the video, are they? But yeah. That's my version of motherhood to you. I'm worrying because I can't edit the videos that I've come across, how I've come across. But I hope I've come across as a realistic mom, because I love her so much. I've really slagged her off, but I love her so much. Like, I would never ever want to be without her, and I'm never without her. Like, sometimes, like, I'm waiting for her to wake up, and I'm like, Ellie, no, you've waited for her to go to sleep. The lady does say the word regret. Like, you're not going to regret having a baby. Your life will be fulfilled. You'll get through it. And I just think, like, I'm so excited for, like, when they're, like, my age and we can all go out as a family. And I mean, that's ages away. I don't really think I'll get my point across well. Like, I don't know, just to have, like, a full human that's me. Like, that's great. And, yeah. It's just shit, but you enjoy it. It's shit, but you'll enjoy it. You'll look like shit. I mean, you might not. You might be better at it than me. But I just hate being away from her. So that's why I always look like shit. But yeah, that's my take on motherhood. As chaotic as it is, that is my life, chaotic.
I feel like people that are at this stage might not really have plenty regrets. They might have, but it might just be a little. It might not be compared to somebody that did not think before considering having children. When I say think, people that just feel like it is my normal thing to do. It is normal for me to have kids. I can reproduce, or I can have children now that I'm married. They didn't even think about it. Like, is this partner good enough to be a father? Am I mentally okay to be a mom? Can I care for a child? There's some questions you need to ask yourself. There's some things you need to see, and there's some things you need to put in place. Am I financially stable to take care of this child? What will happen if I and my partner got unalive? Would this child be safe? Some things you need to ask yourself before considering having children. I feel like those people that sat down to actually think about it, they think about the good, the bad, the ugly, and they're like, I'm gonna do it. They might not have much regret because they've thought about it and they're like, I thought about it and I feel like I'll just give it a shot. They might not have much regrets. But you see those people that don't even think at all, they will have so many regrets, and they will wish that, oh, I wish I never did this. Those are the women that come out and start saying, I wish I never did this. I wish I had sat down. I wish I had, waited another year. Some will tell you, I wish I had stopped at number 2. I wish I had stopped at number 1, right? You see this set of people now, if they tried it once and they're like, this is not okay, they're not going to do it again. Children can change your life. Children can change your activities. They can even change your body, right? As a woman, your body is going to change. Your facial structures are going to change. If you do see all this trend of women saying, this is how I look before getting pregnant, and this is me, how I look now that I'm pregnant. Pregnancy changes women so much. In fact, your nose, so see some women, the nose gets so big and it might not even go back to normal, right? Your tummy might not go back to normal. A lot of things might not go back to normal unless you do so many things to get it back to normal. So because having children can actually change everything, can actually change the relationship between you and your partner. For somebody that might, be married, they might be married for like 5, 7, 8 years together, no child. Imagine having a child in that relationship, in that household. A lot of things are going to change. You and your partner is like you're just starting to get to know each other all over again because you don't even know that other side of your partner, that daddy side of your partner. You have to start seeing that side of your partner, that mommy side as well, even if you're a man watching this video. So a lot of things changes when you have kids, and I feel like it's always advisable for you to think about it. Think about it very well. Think about the good, the bad, the ugly, because yes, the good side, but most of the time there are bad sides. So if you can handle the bad side and you can be like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to do this. I accept that this and this can happen. This and this will happen. Then you can go for it, right? But then if you don't think about it, just do it just because you can do it. Just because you can reproduce, you just feel like it should just be reproducing. Like you see some people, this is my baby number 7 with different baby daddies. I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why are you just popping babies all around just because you can do it? Well, it's your choice. I don't have anything against it. But sometimes you need to think about what you want to put yourself to and just think about your children as well. Not being selfish with yourself. Think about the children you're bringing to the world. Think about the child you want to produce, not just yourself. Don't have a selfish attitude and be like, oh, this is I am having it because I. Don't be selfish about it. You need to think about the child as well, right? What is your take on today's video? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section respectfully. It's your favorite girl again, Maria David. And please like and share and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the post notification bell when you subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video.